final question, is there anything that you may want to confess tonight before you go in?
I keep everything right here.
There you go.
Or right here.
In New York City, defense attorneys for Sean Combs began their cross-examination of his ex-girlfriend, Cassie Ventura.
These text messages definitely show kind of this eagerness to participate, the desire to be in his circle, the desire to be loved by him.
Please read this 1364.
I haven't talked to you at all. You don't even try. You rush me off the phone. I'm really hurt. I don't need your money. I need some attention.
You wanted your special time with Mr. Combs?
Yes.
I know them other guys, they've been talking about the way I do what I do.
They've asked me, hey, how do you feel? Were you heartbroken? Puff took your girl, whatever it was.
To my family, friends, supporters, and colleagues, I want to speak to you directly and from the heart. This is a shakedown.
Welcome to Manosphere Highlights Daily, where we give men what the mainstream won't, the raw, uncomfortable truth. This isn't just about Diddy. This is about you, your reputation, your freedom, your bank account. Because if you're a man with something to lose, one consensual text can become courtroom evidence tomorrow. And no one will care about the full story, just the narrative. Let's break down what really came out in court and why you need to wake the hell up.
Now it's time for us to get into this and do what we gotta do. Because we many.
Let's get into the text messages because, like you mentioned, those are so very interesting. And they pointed to one text from Cassie to Diddy that said, quote, "I'm always ready to freak off," relating to some of these sexual escapades there taking place between the two.
Well, I think that the whole thing was, they were trying to show that these freak offs, which, just to remind everybody, it involved her having sex with another man while Diddy watched. And then what they added to that today, what she said, she goes, yeah, and of course the text messages too were entered into evidence saying this, that after they would have these freak offs where he's watching her have sex with other men, she says, oh, then we would make love. And I love those sessions. I love the way we make love after the FOs, which was after the freak offs.
In court today, Cassie, under oath, was forced to read her own words, not testimony, text messages, emails, love letters. I'm always ready to freak off. I need your attention, not your money. You're my husband. I want to give you the same. These weren't cries for help. They were romantic, intimate, voluntary. She said she initiated freak-offs herself because she wanted to be close to him. She said she wanted to give him a baby. She said she was in love. So now that the cameras are rolling, it's abuse?
So it fascinated me at the time that she actually filed that publicly and he settled it the next day. That unfortunately was pretty telling, that he didn't put up any fight on the lawsuit. He didn't even want to litigate it. He didn't even want to go to discovery. He wanted to settle it immediately.
And if he would have settled it before she filed it, I think we would have been in a very different position than we are today.
Remember, Cassie didn't press charges. She didn't call 911. She sued. And what did she get? $30 million. That's not justice. That's a business deal. And it triggered a wave of Me Too cases stacked on Diddy's name. Just like that, she went from ex-girlfriend to federal star witness. And we're supposed to believe this is just about trauma? Nah, this is about timing, optics, and opportunism.
The video is just so helpful to show that at some point she changed her mind. If she did in fact originally want to be a part of the freakouts, at some point later on down the road, she did not. And exactly what you said is true. If you agree to have consensual sex 99 times and then the 100th time you say no, it is.
It began as a consensual relationship when she was 20 years old. She also accuses Sharp of a violent sexual assault and rape in October of last year and again in January of this year. The complaint seeks more than $50 million in damages. Sharp fired back, posting alleged texts from the woman in the lawsuit on social media. One of them reads, "I want you to put a dog collar around my neck and choke me with it while you're effing me."
Shannon Sharp is now facing the exact same weapon. A woman he role-played with is now suing him for $50 million, claiming it stopped being consensual after the fact. Let that sink in. You can be deep in the fantasy, mutual, wild, explicit, and the moment she feels different, you're a predator. The messages don't matter. The consent doesn't matter. Her feelings rewrite history, and no one's stopping it. But here's the thing. This isn't just about sex. This is marriage too. 80% of divorces are filed by women, not because of abuse, not because of infidelity, often just because she doesn't feel it anymore. The love dried up, the thrill's gone, she walks. But when a man wants to walk away, he pays alimony, child support, sometimes his house, his retirement, and maybe his mental health. Same formula. Her emotions decide when it's over, but your punishment kicks in after she's done feeling. So whether it's a bedroom or a courtroom, the lesson is the same. If you don't protect yourself, your consent doesn't matter. Your story doesn't matter. Only hers does.
And then on these drugs, and that both she and Combs had these drug addictions, but the idea, she claims that she drove him to a hospital in 2012 because he had OD'd, and that's the first that we're really hearing about anything like that, Andy. But part of the defense strategy to say, hey, were they the perfect couple? Not by a long shot. Was there a lot of abuse? Yes, Combs has admitted that, but it was domestic violence. There was a lot of drug use, but this was not sex trafficking. So they're trying to create that picture and portray that picture, Andy.
In court, they brought up the 2016 hallway incident. Yes, the one on video. But here's what's wild. Cassie says she and Diddy were using MDMA. She was upset about a freak off before a premiere. She texted about lining up a male escort herself. That's not trafficking. That's dysfunction. That's mutual madness, not unilateral abuse. And now she claims the drugs were bad, but can't remember who got them. Sounds like selective memory. Sounds like victim positioning.
You were dating Mr. Leslie. How much older than you was he?
10 years.
Then you traveled to Miami with Mr. Combs. The flyer of the event was just a cover to spend time with Mr. Combs, right?
That's true.
You had a tattoo of Mr. Leslie's initials on your body, right?
Yes.
How many tattoos did you have then?
At this moment, the prosecution objected on the grounds of relevance. The judge overruled it and said, but let's keep it moving.
3.
The one on your arm?
No regrets.
They've asked me, hey, how do you feel? Were you heartbroken? Puff took your girl, whatever it was. I understand when a story or a narrative is not for me. And once it was no longer for me, then there were other narratives and stories for me to invest my time, energy, and resources into. So from even me being in Harvard that young, I never acquired a taste for alcohol, for drugs, for partying. So that's actually how I met Cassie, because I was like, yo, I'm a big producer now. I'm going to the club, whatever.
And let's not pretend she was some wide-eyed, innocent girl. Before Diddy, Cassie was with Ryan Leslie, a respected artist, 10 years older. She cheated on him with Diddy. She had his initials tattooed on her body, and then she upgraded. Hypergamy, that's the real story. She wasn't groomed, she was climbing. And when the ride ended and the spotlight dimmed, she flipped the script.
Fair to say his career was ruined after your lawsuit?
I can understand that.
In court today, the defense asked Cassie, is it fair to say you ruined his career? Her answer, I could understand that. Let that marinate. She knows this story is burning Diddy's name to the ground, and maybe he deserves fire for some of it. But don't hand her a halo when she was dancing in the flames too.
I think one of the biggest takeaways right now is Cassie saying, I want a baby with you. And at that point, Diddy already had 6 children, but she still said, I want a baby with you. So the defense really trying to show the jury, saying, look, she was actively involved in the swinger lifestyle. And she said she loved freak-offs and that she loved to plan them, and was also offering up suggestions as well during the course here of the planning stages for these freak-offs. So that is a major takeaway that we are getting from today, that is in direct opposition to what we heard yesterday.
Gentlemen, hear me clearly. The game has changed. The rules are unwritten, and your receipts won't save you when the court of public opinion decides you're guilty. This isn't about sex. It's about power, control, damage. You could have love letters, text messages, videos. None of it will matter, because she can wake up one day and rewrite history. And if she has a motive, you're the villain. End of story. This channel is here to arm you with truth, not comfort. This isn't anti-woman, it's pro-survival. Diddy may be guilty of a lot, but Cassie is not just a victim. She's a player in this story. And if we keep giving women free passes to rewrite their pasts, no man is safe. Watch your back, watch your texts, watch your heart, because that's how they get in. And once you're in, the game is stacked.
Man, that's where we working. Protect yourself at all times. This video has officially been highlighted.